Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Alana from Win-Win and welcome to this double simulcast of how to get a mining job in Australia. If you're watching on the One Job membership, hello, thank you for watching, and obviously drop your questions in the chat below. If you are watching on the TikTok channel, welcome. We are also simulcasting this via the One Job membership and also via our TikTok channel. So I'm about to get a very special guest on here as well, Amanda from Win-Win. We're going to be answering all your questions. Brian, how are you? Hey guys, if you've got any mining questions, feel free to drop them in the comments section below. I've actually got my One Job members over here and I've got my TikTok channel going over here. So we are talking mining questions, how you can get a job, migration, anything you want to talk about. In fact, no, we're not talking migration because I'll need my migration agent. But if you have any questions, how's the money and experience required? Marius, so how's the money? The money is still really, really good in the industry. In fact, there are some companies, and thank you for that, that are still paying ridiculously good money in the mining industry. So the key is as well, it's not just how much you're earning, it's how much you're able to save. When you're away for a couple of weeks at a time or 2/3 of the year, imagine how much money that you're saving. It's crazy. Welcome, Amanda. Guys, this is Amanda from Win-Win. How are you, Amanda?
Hi, I'm good, except I've not been able to find my tripod because my son uses it as a sword, so I hide it from him. But anyway, I'm here. How is everyone? I would love to know where everybody's from.
Absolutely. And if you guys can like and share the live, we would really appreciate that as well. And Amanda, I was just saying, we've actually got a simulcast going on with the One Job membership. So anyone who's in One Job, in the chat below, just drop down what questions you've got. We'll ask them first. So, our favorite question, Amanda, age in mining. Really?
Oh, yes.
All right, age in mining. Let's break it down here. A couple of weeks ago, in fact, if anyone's not following this channel, make sure you're following this channel and Amanda's. We have done what I think is the impossible and just assisted a 69-year-old to get her first job as a trainee for Rio Tinto, paying her $137,000. Amanda, let's talk about age in mining, shall we?
Well, first of all, let's congratulate Linda, because what a absolute weapon to, one, still be hungry enough to pursue a career in mining, but also two, to have the bulletproof kind of approach to go, I am going to do this and follow everything that we've been providing. So that's the difference with, our clients. Our clients are really hungry. They want this, they go after it and they get it. And she is just an exact, testament to kind of the program and the framework that we have set out, that it doesn't matter what your age. Now, obviously, it's going to matter in terms of your minimum age. So we do need people to be 18. And when I say we, the mining industry does require 18. You need to have a manual driver's license. You need to be able to be 18 to be on site, because you do have a wet mess. There's safety implications. There's also just a whole range. You need, you're not a legal guardian until you're, over 18. So 18, but no maximum age. And if you see most of the guys, like we generally get, when we get asked this comment, a lot of guys will come in and jump in and go, no, I've got a 65-year-old that works with me. He's the hardest worker. I've got a 70. So as you can see, Marius, we've just answered that question. But Marius, it is, there is no maximum age. We have just got a 69-year-old person, their first FIFO job with Rio Tinto, paid $130,000 a year.
Yeah, spot on. And Linda is actually one of our One Job members. When she sent me that on that shit, like, oh my God, I've just actually scored this traineeship with Rio Tinto. I was literally, no way. I'm like, I know we can move heaven and earth to assist our clients, but Linda followed the guidelines in our One Job membership, where we show you how to do the things that nobody else is going to tell you, how to get to the employees or employers, should I say. And she followed the process down to an absolute T, like a weapon, and she achieved her goal. So it's totally doable. Sorry. Okay.
Lakshan has asked FIFO from Melbourne. So Lakshan, we are seeing some companies, it depends on what role. Generally we say no, because the market is quite hot at the moment. And when we say the market's hot, it means we have a lot of people trying to get into the industry because we've got a cost of living crisis in Australia and everyone wants to go make money. FIFO from Melbourne at the moment, it depends on the position and depends on your experience. If you're a HD fitter, if you are someone that has loads of experience really relevant to the industry, there is a possibility. However, if you're looking for an entry-level position, so anyone that's watching right now, if you've never been in the mining industry, that's what an entry-level position is. If you're looking for an entry-level position, it's very unlikely that you would get an entry-level position from Melbourne, but there are some companies and drillers offsiders positions that they are now looking at interstate, but you would need to meet all the minimum requirements. So you would need to have a HR driver's license, need to have labouring experience, need to be really fit and physically demanding.
Yeah, can I just say, M. Escobar as well. I'm still waiting, been applying for 7 months and no bites. Exactly what we did with Linda is we worked with her to make sure, okay, is your resume optimized? Where are you located? Like exactly like what Amanda just said. If you are in Melbourne and you're trying to get jobs in Perth, Western Australia, where clearly on the job ad it states the point of hire is Perth, then you're going to get no deal every single time. So it is a process. And sometimes it's a process of eliminating where you're going right, what you're not doing right, and what you can do to fix it. If it's a resume thing, then that's probably one of the most easiest things to fix actually. But then it also comes down, and this is one thing where Linda was actually telling me in the One Job membership about the course that we've got, her interview course. She was like, that was one of the key catalysts, because knowing what your key selling points are when you get to the interview stage is either going to make or break you being able to get through to that next stage of being able to, like what she did, go on, do all the interviews, and then be able to get to the pre-employment medical. We knew that she was fit enough to pass the medical because we provided her with all the information that she needed so she could set herself up to do it. But if you're getting no bites and it's 7 months, I would suggest, and just think about how much money that you are actually losing. If a lady who's 69, I'm going to be talking about her for the rest of my life, I swear. If a 69-year-old can get a $137,000 job, like within a couple of months, honestly, then yeah, if you look like you're fit, healthy, and you should be able to get way more bites. So get in contact with us. In my bio, you can book in with our team. In 20 minutes, we can tell you exactly where you're going wrong, but more importantly, what you can do about it. So yeah, 100%.
I'm going to answer some of these questions. I'm going to do some quick, short and sharp questions. Guys, Justine has just done this, which is a perfect example. If you want to understand what your options are, drop your location below and also what you're currently doing as a job, and we can provide you some guidance in relation to what that job has done. So Justine, FIFO from New Zealand in the cleaning industry, experienced commercial cleaner. Unlikely. So with a utility, this is still considered an entry-level position. Even though you have loads of experience, it's still considered an entry-level position. So Justine, you would need to relocate to Perth or Brisbane and then start pursuing the positions. Now, people in New Zealand have a different than any outside of the rest of Australia. So you can still operate on a New Zealand driver's license, but I would suggest, Justine, if you are serious about it, because it sounds like if you've got these skills, you'd probably have no issues of getting in. Book in for a career consultation. Chat to our team about what the options are. We have like 50% of our clients are from New Zealand, so we we do provide a lot of support there. Next question.
Hang on, Arif. No, you can't get a job from Pakistan. You need a visa. You need to move. No company is going to fly you from Pakistan to Perth or anywhere to get a mining job over here. You need to go through the correct channels. If you need help with that, go into my bio. We've got our own migration agent. He can have a look at your situation, work out whether this is doable for you. Thank you, Mary. Maddie has just asked a very good question as well. Can you live in Perth or do you live in one of those smaller mining towns? If you live in a mining town, you walk straight into one of these jobs, no questions asked. But the issue can be getting the accommodation. Perth, if you're watching this right now, from Melbourne, from Pakistan, from anywhere, Perth is the place that you need to be. You need to move to. I don't care what people are saying. Move to Perth, the jobs here are about 10 times more than anywhere else. So that is going to significantly improve your chances. Amanda, anything to add on that one?
No, but also residential, moving to a mining town is going to absolutely increase. And I think, yeah, it's really something that can really improve your options. I've just got a couple of questions here that I want to answer from Ghana. We have half of Ghana watching us right now, I think, or following us. I'm going to be really frank. It's going to be impossible for you to get a position in Australia unless you are prepared to get yourself a working visa and get yourself to Australia. Get yourself an Australian driver's license, Australian police clearance, and an Australian white card. Getting an option, or it doesn't matter what your experience is, and you are not going to get a sponsorship. You could potentially, as a geological technician, potentially, but it's a very, 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 very small chance of doing that. But the other option is to be able to get yourself a working visa and take the initiative and do it yourself. There's two things. You can go out and try and get a sponsorship, which is really hard, or you can go out and try and do it yourself, which is go get yourself the working visa, go book your flights to Australia, go get your tickets and everything and come to Australia, and then you'll probably have no issues in getting a job.
Yep, definitely. Can I just answer this question from Sarah, which is also very similar to the question that I can see from Becca on here. So it's about FIFO admin jobs. I just want to reiterate, I did work as a FIFO admin back in the day.
Me too.
And we have recruited for FIFO admins. That is the hardest job to get in the mining industry. And the reason why is because, one, companies, they will internally promote their people. So especially in the utility companies, if they've got a staff member who's on light duties, they chuck them into the admin. And a lot of the housekeepers are always trying to get into admin roles because they look so cushy, and they kind of are. But the thing is, to get one of these roles, companies want you to have really specific experience using SAP, using INX, flight booking systems, rosters, timesheets, all that sort of stuff. So your resume needs to be 1,000,000% optimized. Those are so hard to get, harder than a dump truck traineeship, but they're a great job. Hey, Amanda.
Yes, and I will talk about my experience. So I had a background as a travel agent, and I had experience. I had 5 years experience as a travel agent, booking flights, booking accommodation, using the programs, and I still couldn't get a position. But what I had to do was take the two-step plan, which is what we tell a lot of people to do. Get yourself into the industry with an entry-level position. Go scrub toilets, go drive a truck, go do whatever you need to do to be able to get yourself into the industry. So that's what I did. I went and became a utility, and I was a utility for 6 to 8 months. I then worked in the bar and the kitchen. And then after about 12 months, I became admin. And then after that, within 18 months, I was actually village manager because I didn't want to do admin. It was a nightmare. So I became a village manager, but you can do it, but it's hard. So I did it like exactly what Alana has said. Do it the other way around. Like get yourself in the industry, become a housekeeper. If you can't be a housekeeper, it's not for you.
Yep, guys, thanks for joining this live. We've got 83 people on here, and we've got our One Job members in here. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comment section below. I do have a question from one of our One Job members, Brian. What are the easiest entry-level mining jobs to get? Firstly, Brian, you need to go watch the course. You've got access to that, so that's what I'd suggest you do because, yeah, anyway. But, all right, so let's go through some of the easiest entry-level jobs. If you have very little skills, you have no idea about the mining industry, Amanda, what is the number one entry-level job that basically almost anyone can get that pays the most amount of money?
A driller's offsider. Yeah,
Oh.
and a driller's offsider is going, but it's not for the faint-hearted. So while anybody could get it, it does have an extremely high a high turnover, and that's why it pays well, is because they can't keep people. So if there's any blokes watching right now and you are physically fit, you work out, you go to the gym, you're pretty confident in your fitness, and females as well. If I knew about a driller's offsider job when I was younger, when I first went into the industry, that's the job that I would have pursued. I would have absolutely loved it. It's pretty dirty, wet, it's physically demanding. You are literally the kind of like person that is the trade assistant of the driller. You are changing out the drill rods. You are running sample bags. It's really physically demanding, but you're going to earn 120K a year.
If not more, 100%. Are there jobs in far north Queensland? Yes, there are. We've got, are there mines that hire husband and wife on the same swing? We're in our early 50s, live near Perth. Yes, there are. But again, like to get a job as a husband and wife team or partners, there is a very specific strategy that you need to do. Sometimes this can result in a two-step plan. So it's best if in these situations, when we do speak to couples, we go through, right, who's got the most marketable skill sets and experience, and who can we get in first? And then what can the partner follow in as? Sometimes it's a case of they'll have to potentially maybe go backwards, not backwards, that sounds bad, but get any job that they can, the partner. But yeah, thanks, Bex. And thanks for joining the live, guys. Really appreciate it. There's 92 people on here. We'd love for you to double tap the screen and also share it so we can get it to as many people for this impromptu live. But yeah, if you need help creating an exact plan of how you can get in, and this is for you too, Ronak, because I'm in Melbourne, can I get a mining job? Listen, you can get one if you're an HD fitter or a highly sought after trade from Melbourne to places like Perth. If you are trying to get an entry-level job, like even a warehouse role, a utility role, you're most likely going to have to move. So, but again, we'll have a look at your exact situation. What licenses and qualifications do you have? And also, like, what jobs can you legitimately get based upon your experience? Amanda, anything for that? For that, or do you want to answer Maddie's question there?
Yes, Maddie, yes, they do. They have you. I'm saying yes, there is toilets underground. I don't know. I've seen him write two questions. I've seen him write two questions, which is saying, "What do you?" So I'm answering the second one.
Okay. Right, so the first one, I think, Maddie, is so you're saying once you're in the industry, it's easy to continue and progress. Hell yeah! The second you've got your foot in the door, the second you've got your foot in the door to any job in the mining industry, that is your way in, and where you go from there completely depends on you, what your goals are, how much money that you want to make, and exactly like, what do you want to do? Like some people get in there and they go, I want to be a process operator. Some people go, I want to drive dump trucks. So the foot in the door is the hardest part. Then once you've got your foot in the door, game on. You can go anywhere. So yes. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining the live, guys. Really appreciate it. Lugani, I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's very hard. I've been trying since last year. Contact us. Can Riz or Cam, can you drop in our email address? Guys, the email address is all around this live. Or make sure that you're doing one thing first. Follow Amanda, follow myself. We've got a ton of content on our TikTok channels, obviously, to help answer all your questions. And of course, if you need help and you want to have a chat with our team, we do 20-minute consultations. We're in that. By the end of it, you have pure clarity on exactly what you can do to land a six-figure mining job, just like Linda, the absolute legend from our One Job membership, who is a 69-year-old and about to start her first job with Rio Tinto. Unbelievable.
I'm just going to answer Beck's position here. Beck, we answered this at the start. No, there's no age limit. We just got a 69-year-old a job. I am in Fiji, can do job in mining. You can probably do a job in mining, but you need to be in Australia. Tura82, thanks heaps for the resume. Scored myself a quarry gig as a dump truck and Moxie driver. Well Tura, thank you so much. We are so happy to hear this. We always get a few people usually jump on and say that they were successful, which is fantastic. Any railway mahi in the industry?
Yes. So that's work. Yes, there is. It depends on your experience, where you're located, what qualifications you've got, a ton of other things as well. So yeah, I'm just going to respond to Mixed Arrow. If you have any questions, we have an open door policy. You've got our phone number, you've got our email address. Your consultant will, what have I just done here? Your consultant will work with you to make sure that you are successful. We don't go, thanks for coming, see you later, bye. We go, hey, where are you up to? We do follow-up, very annoying, vigilant follow-up emails with our clients to make sure that they're actually doing what they need to do. So yeah.
Every person that comes through our doors, guys, what happens is once they make, we have a structure within our follow-up program, which is where we will follow you up after the second week, and then we will follow you up with the third week, I think it is, and the fourth week, because we want to make sure that you've got results within 4 weeks. We do also have something which is really exciting. If you have been sitting on, so how do we work? Let's just put this in here. Alana and I have more than 20 years experience within recruitment and the FIFO industry.
More than 30 probably.
The reason we have the volume of reviews that we do on Google, and the reason that our clients get success is because we understand how to hack the applicant tracking system. The applicant tracking system is the system that you put your resume into when you put it into Seek, when you put it into that big black hole. And then if you are getting responses straight away that say you are not suitable, or you're getting something a couple of days later, that's because your resume is not applicant tracking system compliant, right? So consider like that when you put your resume into Seek, needs to be in like a little bit of a format, right? Needs to have the right page numbers, needs to have the right page numbers, format, word count, keywords. And this is where we bring the magic, the keywords. So we take all of your transferable skills, which is like working in hospitality, working in civil, working in a farm in New Zealand, and we massage it into the mining terminology to make it come out as this amazing resume. So then what we do is we then provide you that resume and you start applying and you start getting results very, very quickly. Now, come Friday, we have a massive little initiative, exciting. We're going to be doing a little bit of a flash sale, so keep your eyes out for that. Friday, it's coming. It's only going to be for 3 days. So if you've been sitting on the fence about getting a resume, it's going to start Friday, and they're only 3 days only. All right, so keep that in mind.
Yep, and can I just say as well, I was just having a chat to somebody. In the Win-Win business, we've actually got 2 different divisions. In our recruitment division, we do permanent placements for candidates. There are no fees for that. You go on and you go through our applicant tracking system. So just like any other company, when you apply for a job, you're either going to be successful or not. You're going to get automated rejection notices saying, oh, you're such a great candidate, blah, 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 bullshit. Right, that's it, the company's applicant tracking system. And in can anyone tell me, have you ever applied for a job with an employer and they actually rang you up and said, oh, guess what? Unfortunately, you're not getting a job, and here's the reason why? I seriously doubt it. Why? Because employers can be open to litigation for that. That is why if you apply for any of our jobs, you go onto our website and you go into our vacancies tab and apply, you are at the mercy of our applicant tracking system. In our career consultation division, which is totally different, we can tell you if you're applying for jobs with Rio Tinto, you're getting nowhere, we can actually tell you exactly where you're going wrong in that one. So that's as if you were going to go and, for people who buy like resumes from other companies or they try to do them themselves, that's where we can actually tell you exactly where you're going wrong and what you can do about it. So we've got 3 different packages in that division. If you want to go and check those out, the link is in my bio. Or you just go and apply for our jobs and our vacancies tab on our website, which is actually still in this TikTok channel as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm just going to answer Bamboo. If you don't have a license, can I still get a job in the mines in cleaning? No. And the reason why is, sorry, I'm just getting some moderation done on this live.
And if you haven't done it, make sure you're following both of our accounts for content to get you employed. That's the whole point of our TikTok accounts and why we're here today.
Okay, so basically let's talk about the, no, you need a driver's license. This is a requirement for 99.99999% of jobs. There will always be one person that got through because they know this guy and, you know, he said you can come on site without a license. That is not best practice, and 99.99999% of the jobs you will need a driver's license, a manual driver's license, even if you are not driving. The reason is, when Alana and I first met, our first gig, we flew into an airport. That airport was 3 hours away from the camp. We had to drive that vehicle. Now, if something happened to Alana, I would have had to have driven that vehicle. If something happened to me, another person would have had to have driven that vehicle. So that's why. And also, there's not like always a bus that takes you to the airport. So you might have to do that swap out with the vehicle. So this is a mandatory requirement for all positions.
Can I just ask, are you guys able to do us a favor? In the comments section, drop what country you're watching this from so we can get an idea of making sure that our responses are tailored to you. We cannot give you responses on migration. We are not licensed migration agents. We do have our own agent though. So if you need to speak to him, you can definitely have a chat to him. So that one for you, AB Millwright, what's the fees of a mechanical fitter from Canada living in Thailand of 35 years? What visa that you can get, and this is as far as I'm going to go with migration, what visa you can get depends on what your age is and a ton of other factors that you would have to speak with our migration agent. We do double appointments, so you can actually book in with him and one of our career consultants at the same time, where we can be answering all of your specific questions. He can literally say, listen, sorry, you're too old, you're not applicable to get a visa. Okay. And we don't beat around the bush. We're not going to give you false hopes of, you're 80, so you can get a visa. Ain't going to happen.
I'm just going to answer some of these quick questions. Okay, Ronak, any utility jobs for me for Melbourne? Unlikely, but we are starting to see, if you are, depending on what your fitness is like, there's a lot of drillers off-sider positions happening in Tassie at the moment. The Tassie industry is really kind of heating up down there. But hot utility, unlikely from Melbourne, but you could move to Brisbane or you could move to Perth. There are some service attendant positions around Victoria, but it might be drive-in, drive-out. So depending on your location, and drive-in, drive-out, but you need to be within like a kind of 80 Ks of that location. But book in for a career consultation. There's a link in my bio, and we can talk you through some of those options, because we do have a lot of clients that still get results from their location, like what you're talking about. It's just a strategy in what we kind of do that and how we kind of articulate that. Okay, we've got loads from Fiji, lots from New Zealand, lots from Melbourne, we've got Brisbane, we've got Papua New Guinea.
Can I just say as well, right, if you are in Australia or New Zealand, your time is now. The cost of inflation is going ridiculously through the roof if you hadn't noticed. And now is the time where companies are actually prioritising people who can get working rights in Australia the easy way. And even if you're a Kiwi citizen, it's easy to just get the 444 visa, come over here and bang, you walk straight into work. It is that easy. If you're overseas, you've got to jump through a couple more hoops. But if you're in somewhere like Melbourne or Sydney, unfortunately, in most cases, unless you're an HD fitter or an auto sparky, it's going to be almost impossible for you to get FIFO from Melbourne to, let's say, WA. But look, it is doable. And, I say to everyone, I started FIFO when I was 18. It will change your life. Not having the financial pressures, this is where I suggest everyone get in, like ASAP. And if you're in Australia or New Zealand, your best opportunity is right now before, we'll see.
I'm just going to answer this question in relation to New Zealand, to Queensland. It depends on, so the question is, what jobs are there in Queensland? What are the requirements for jobs in Queensland? So first of all, you're going to need Standard 11. Standard 11 is your safety induction kind of mandatory course for Queensland. You will need a coal board medical. You can't get this until you actually got a position. And depends on which position you're going for. If you're going for an entry-level position, one of the best tickets that you can always get, and one of the best ways to be able to set yourself up, is get yourself a HR manual driver's license. This is going to be able to be used for anything that's going to help you kind of get into the industry, especially if you're looking for that labouring kind of truck driving. So you could start as a driller's offsider. They're also going to want a first aid and a national police clearance. Now, if you're from New Zealand and you still can qualify for the Australian police clearance, but you need to be able to have an Australian address to be able to do that. So yeah, definitely there's lots of opportunity in Queensland. We are seeing a lot of stuff out of Mackay at the moment as well, and in Townsville, Far North Queensland as well, really starting to hit up.
Yep, and in our recruitment division, we actually have jobs available in Longreach, and we've got some FIFO opportunities in our recruitment division. So you just go into the website, you apply in our vacancies tab, and then you go through our applicant tracking system. So we only get in contact with you if you're successful and we want to pursue your application because you have gone through our ATS system. I'll just say that. Questions about swings. We've had a couple here and a couple over here. So generally you don't get a choice of what swing that you can get, because obviously companies have their set rotations. It's to do with accommodation, it's to do with flights, everything. Motelling is big on a lot of mine sites. So somebody will fly in, somebody will fly out, then you go into their room. So that's how it works. The way that you can dictate what swing that you actually get is by what jobs you're applying for. If you're applying for jobs that are 2-1 and it stipulates in the job ad that this is a 2-1 FIFO roster, you can't go and try to negotiate the swing in that situation. But if you want 8 and 6 roles, that's where you actually have to actively start applying for 8 and 6 roles. I will just say this though, in most cases, a lot of the jobs that you're looking at are pretty much 2-1. That is the most common roster. What are your thoughts on that, Amanda?
Yes, sorry, I've got a bug flying around me that's just a little bit distracting
No,
me.
you love that.
Okay, so our first roster was like 4-in-1, which was fantastic. But yeah, don't be applying for jobs that you're not going to be prepared to be able to do. Every job will dictate and will stipulate what their roster is. And look, if you can't, if you're always on the fence about kind of what the industry is for you, start as a 2-in-1. Start as a 2-in-1. That's probably the easiest way to suggest if this is for you. But the money is where the 4-in-1 is and the 3-in-1 is as well. Can someone be selected even if they're located in Melbourne? Claudia, yes. Depends on the job you're applying for. Depends on the employer and also your experience. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that one, and what we have done with a couple of candidates as well, Claudia, who are from Melbourne, who are from Canberra and are trying to get jobs in WA, if you legitimately, and I'm going to say legitimately, right? If you legitimately have an address that you are going to potentially be able to use and live out of, there is no reason why you can't be putting that on your resume. But then you want to make sure that everything is uniform, because employers are the biggest stalkers. Whenever somebody applies for one of our jobs and we are going through the shortlisting process, what do? We Google them. What can you find? Their LinkedIn profile, their Seek profile, absolutely everything, their Facebook profile. So just be careful with your social media as well. I'll just say that. But if you've got on your resume that you've got a Perth address, but everything else says that you're living in Melbourne, employers just go red flag, like, come on, this person's full of shit. So you've just got to be really careful with that and keep that in mind. But yeah, we've got guys who are in Canberra, Melbourne, Sydney, jobs in WA because they honestly, legitimately had a WA address. So that's how you can get around that.
So this is an interesting question, and going back on what we were talking about with the applicant tracking system. So they literally don't even look at the resume unless AI lets it in. Correct. So you've got to remember that right now AI is taking over the world, but also these systems have been in place for 5 to 10 years. These programs. But what they do is a HR person or a talent acquisition person isn't going to look at 3,000 resumes. The AI is going to scan your resume. They are going to pick out the information that is relevant to the job, and then they are going to match that and say, oh, John Smith, he is an ideal candidate. You should interview him. Blah, blah, blah is an ideal candidate. So this is why your resume is so important, to have the right keywords and the right format to be able to do it. Because this is why most people will this is what happens with our clients. This is like happens every day. They go, I've been trying for 12 months, I've been trying for 6 months. I don't know what's happening. I've got all the right experience. I'm doing everything you're telling me. And then they get their resume done by us. And then what's the kind of result that we generally see, Alana? What type of success rate do they generally come back with to be able to say, I just got my job? I just got an interview.
Ridiculously high. We've had people, I've had people in my office 25 minutes later, they're getting interviews lined up. I've had people go through our one job program and then a couple of minutes later, they're like, what the hell have you guys done? Once your Seek profile has been optimized, and this is actually a question that I'm going to answer from one of our one job members very shortly, but it's about optimizing and making your job seeking easy. There are ways in which we've worked with clients, showed them how to do things like optimize their Seek and LinkedIn profiles to make them absolute honey traps. Because what a lot of candidates don't know is they're trying to do things the hard way. But employers right now, it is expensive to find and onboard candidates. So employers actually go through, I know we do it, go through candidates' Seek and LinkedIn profiles and offer them jobs. This happens all the time. This has happened with our clients. One of them, Martin, you might see if you've seen any of my videos where I use Martin, because like that, again, within an hour of us showing him and working with him in his Seek profile, he was getting employers ring him saying, hey, do you want this job? Jobs that he didn't even apply for. So there's an easy way to do things. There is a hard way. Back to this question here from Sarah, talking about LinkedIn. LinkedIn, can I just say, has everyone got a LinkedIn account? And if you do, are you following or have you connected with me? LinkedIn is the social media for employers. It is where all of us employers are. And this is where if they can actually go through your profile and you can make some noise in your LinkedIn account to not only get directly to the exact recruiter who's hiring for the job that you have just applied for, but you can make the best professional, what is it? What is the word I'm looking for here, Amanda? it's the opportunity for you to promote yourself to employers so you can potentially be getting jobs that you didn't apply for. A lot of people think I'm nothing when I talk about it.
It's a backdoor approach. So it's basically trying to show you that that not only, yes, impact, good job, Joey. Yes, that's what you're trying to do is increase your impact and your opportunity. And we show you how to do it. We even give you a script on how to be able to approach these people and what to do. But you've got to remember, you need to stand out. You need to stand out. So we want you to stand out. So we show you how to do it. And I just want to touch base because Laura and Aspie, is it Aspie? Laura and Aspen. She is hi ladies, I'm a HR recruiter for a drilling company in Tassie. So I've just responded and said, fantastic. We are always wanting to talk further because Tassie is kind of heating up at the moment. And if you need offsiders, let us know. We have a lot ready to be able to be dispatched and mobilized.
Can I just say this as well? Firstly, thank you for watching this live. This is totally impromptu. We've just been bombed with questions, so we thought we'd do a double simulcast in our One Job membership. Thank you guys for watching, and also in our TikTok lives. If you're an employer watching this, let me tell you what we do with our clients that makes the total difference. We set them up to be the candidates that meet the criteria, so you don't have to, when you put an ad out on Seek, go trawling through all these people who didn't read the job ad, don't meet the criteria, and are wasting your time and the cost of your applicant tracking system and your recruiter's time. We set up the candidates, and if you want access to our One Job members, we give you access. So you can go in there and say, I'm looking for a driller's offsider in Tasmania who's got an HR driver's license X, Y, and Z. Bang, all of them meet the criteria. All of them are motivated and good to go because they've done the extra mile and they've gone the extra mile to set themselves up to be the candidates by going through our program that works every time somebody chucks it through. So I'm just going to say, sorry for blabbing, but yeah, it's pretty exciting. Okay, New Zealand, Walla, Jat. What sort of job can I get in the mines? What job do you want? How much money do you want to make? What have you been doing for work? These are all questions. Yeah, sorry, go.
He's put some of his details there. I think he said he's got a forklift and a diploma in mechanical engineering.
Oh, awesome. Mechanical engineers are always sought after. Forklift operators, you've got warehousing, logistics, supply roles. So it just really, really depends. And thank you for watching our videos. I'm glad that they're helpful. So it just depends. If I was young, I feel old. If I was young, I wanted to get my foot in the door to the mining industry and make as much money as humanly possible without having to drop a ton of money on mining tickets and stuff like that. Well, first thing I'd do is I'd come and have a chat with my team, because in 20 minutes we could say, listen, have you thought about this job? It's going to pay you this, instead of trying to compete with half of Australia for a dump truck traineeship. But if I was going to do it again, I'd go in as a driller's offsider where I walk into 110,000+ per year, and all I need is an HR driver's license, white card, police certificate, first aid. That's it. So what job that you can get and want depends upon how you've already set yourself up, and also what your goals are. How much money do you want to make? Do you want to go off and just get your foot in the door at an $85,000 a year utility role, or do you want to get a $45 an hour forklift operator role? Just really depends. Thank you, Kay. All right, any other questions? And if you haven't already done it, make sure you're following Amanda. Make sure you're following myself. We've got 20 more minutes left of this random live. You guys are watching and you've got any questions, just drop them in. And yes, any other questions? Where are we up to, Amanda?
Okay, so first of all, I've just answered AI with a side income, retired fireman, 65, can you help me? Yes, we just got a 69-year-old her job. And then Kay, I'm going to answer you. You're an excavator loader operator with experience. You've got your RIIs. Well, first of all, I want to know where you're located. Okay, are you in Australia? Are you in Brisbane? Are you in Perth? What size diggers have you been working on? What have you been doing? Have you been doing mining production? Have you been doing civil? Like, what have you been doing? Perth. Okay. So, and what have you been operating? What type of machinery have you been operating? Zero mine site experience, except besides cleaning. What other positions could I apply for? Hang on. Do you mean you've got zero mine site experience except cleaning, so you have been a cleaner in the mine site, or you've got the only experience you've got to be considered for a mining position is cleaning? If you could clarify that, I can give you some more information. Gold Coast. So AI with a side income. If you want to go and have a look at Alana's profile, go click on her bio and go and click and have a look at some of the other videos she has just posted. We have just got a 69-year-old woman who 69 years old. That is 1 year off 70. Her first FIFO position. Okay,
As a trainee. As a trainee of all things. That's where when she told me on LinkedIn, I literally said, no way. And I was like, no, like that. But it is doable. They can't discriminate on age. And like, even I spoke to one of the supervisors who was in the recruitment process and who interviewed her. And he's like, he was saying no to the HR team. And they were saying, yes. So it is totally doable, people. If you follow the process, it's going to work. For everyone who's asking how you can contact us, obviously in both of our profiles, we have standstills. You can get to us that way. If you want to book in for a consult over this next week, we've got something truly phenomenal coming up. So you could actually be potentially in on that. But I'm going to drop our email address right now. If you want to book in for a consult with our team, do it, because you will gain a level of clarity and a step-by-step pathway, and also discounts on RTOs if you do need mining tickets. Before you go to spend 1 cent on a mining ticket, you come and talk to us first, and we'll say, what do you want that for? You don't need that. Here's how you can save a couple of hundred, if not thousands of dollars.
Yeah. My honey sunset, no, besides cleaning, what other positions? There's heaps. You can do a driller's offsider depending on how fit you are and depending on your age. You can be a lab tech. You can be a nipper. You can be a serviceman, depending on your experience as well. There is, outside of utility, there is still loads of other positions. Now it's saying I've got 17 messages, so let's scroll down. Okay, 7 years ago I did a standard 11 through the government funding. It cost me $50. Amazing. I have no mine experience. Been trying to get into a FIFO role in health and safety, but no luck at all. Okay, Pravin 7. This is actually a really good indication. So are you telling me you've got workplace health and safety certificate and training assessment 4? Cert 4, if you have those, then I would suggest it's probably maybe your location or your resume. Where are you located and what certificates do you have? And
can I just add to that? Just because you get the ticket, it is not a guarantee you walk straight into a job, especially in an OHS job on the mines, where that is a different kettle of fish. If you are just, let's say you've done the course, it took you a couple of months, maybe even a couple of years, and you're applying for these roles, but you've got no relevant or transferable skills like on the actual job site, it's probably you might have to get into and use a 2-step plan to get your foot in the door. Then you maybe have to go in as a safety rep. We've seen people do this before. They get the qualification, but they came from like totally random background, so it's not going to happen. I'm just going to say Shannon King. Okay, female in New Zealand, moving to Perth in February, class 4 with experience. Any advice appreciated? Get in contact with us before you do anything. You're going to need to get your licenses swapped over. There are some things that you can actually do from New Zealand in the process to lead up, so that you're just ticking boxes, and when you get here, you hit the ground running. Getting a job over here, there are some cases, if you've got the address, where you can actually be applying for jobs before you even get on that plane, because the whole thing is you want to land here and not be piss-farting around on a holiday, unless you do want to do that. If you do, that's fine. But if you came through us and we worked with you, you'll start getting results as quickly as possible. But do not make the biggest mistake that a lot of Kiwis make, and that's go and get Kiwi tickets, because then you have to come over and get them all again. That's why we do our consults, to literally save you money and help you. Here you go, here's your plan, here's a step-by-step plan of how you can actually achieve this goal. Because, there's a way to get in. It's like baking a cake. I always say that if you've ever watched any of my videos, I'm always saying it's like baking a cake. If you follow the recipe, preheat the oven, use the right ingredients, you're going to be successful. That's what we do. We provide you with the recipe. Oh, that's a lot. Okay.
Hang on, I'll take over. So we've got looking for scaffolders based in Labika Isaacs. I'm looking for scaffolders based in Perth. Send me your resumes. So SMS group. So there you go. Actually, there was some scaffies just on here, but they were based in Queensland. Can I get an entry-level position in FIFO from Ghana? No, you cannot. Possible to get a visa sponsorship? Not for an entry-level position. If you want to talk migration, we are not able to talk about migration. we are legally not allowed to talk about migration and the visa options for you. You need to speak to a migration agent. But we do have that option. If you want to send us an email at info@winwin.com.au, we can connect you with them and talk about your options to be able to get into the industry.
Yeah, there's a link in my bio. There's a link in Amanda's bio. AI with side income. Right. I don't know whether this is
It's a follow-up from...
But, okay, after 2.5K a week, is that doable? 1,000,000%. The last job that I was on, where I was driving around, no stress, in a water cart, wetting roads and stockpiles and stuff like that, I was on $2,600 a week after tax. So, yeah, there is still some wicked money to be made out there. Depends on what job that you can get, and we can help you to get those jobs. So, bit Manoff, 1 year welding overseas, hold white card, EWP, confined space, working at heights. Have you been applying now? Welders are so highly sought after to get your tickets swapped over. Have you got your welding tickets to the Australian standards? That's what I'll ask, because if you do, you should be able to get in without any issues at all. Welders are so highly sought after. Thank you for watching from PNG, and I have constructive. Hey, what should I do? Bit Manoff. Get in contact with us if you want, 100%. And Labika, if you need help finding, if you're an employer watching this and you need help getting staff to actually meet the criteria of the job that you want and are motivated enough to jump through any hoops we put in front of them, get in contact with us, info@winwin.com.au. I'm based in Perth, yes, Margaret, and I've got half of my staff here, half of them in Queensland, and then actually in 4 countries. So, yeah, but we all work remotely after COVID, which was interesting. But anyway, can I get an entry-level job on semester breaks under a student visa? No, you will need to have working rights, and there are severe restrictions. But again, I'm not a migration agent. That's why we have our migration agent and pay him very well to answer questions like that. So what I'd suggest for you is that go up into the link in my bio and book in with our migration agent. He can answer any of your questions. And if you are on a specific visa here, you can get your visa swapped over to other visas so that you can actually go and work. But getting a semester, getting entry-level job or getting a job, you're going to have to probably go as casual. Okay. I can't see the rest of the AI with side income combo apart from the...
No, he was 65.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Where?
Alana, are you based in Perth? Yes, she is. Can I get an entry-level position on semester breaks under a student visa? No, you cannot. Student visas, guys, you have conditions on your student visas, which tells you that you can only work 25 hours a week or 25 hours or 30 hours. You cannot do that in the mining industry. I'm watching from PNG. I have construction white card and Queensland driver's license. Okay, fantastic. Do you have rights to work in Australia? If you don't have rights to work in Australia, that's your first step. Second step is being in Australia to be able to apply for the jobs. You cannot be applying for the jobs outside of Australia.
Spot on. Thanks for watching the live, guys. If you haven't already done it, we'd love for you to share it out and also make sure that you're following Amanda and myself. If you need help, just like you, our Kiwi Life, can we come from New Zealand? Get in contact with our team, because there are so many questions that we'd ask you, like, are you a citizen? Are you a permanent resident? Have you got an Australian tax file number? How old are you? What job do you want? What have you been doing for work? These are all questions that we go through in our consultations so that we can actually give you the right advice. Like saying, can I come over and get a job is like, oh, well, there are so many different factors. So, yeah, definitely. Am I married? Yeah, no. Anyway, moving along. Awesome. I'm a commercial cleaner. Ah, perfect. Cleaners are highly sought after. They are called utilities in the mining industry. That banner falls under, or that utilities fall under, like, housekeepers, kitchen hands, bus drivers, logistics, admin, a ton of different roles. So, yeah, if you've got that experience, utility roles are one of the easiest ones that you can get into. They pay 85 to 110, depending on the company and what roster that you're on. So it is definitely doable. 100%. Sorry, I've just joined. Are you offering jobs or just help? Look, if you wanted to apply for any of our jobs or vacancies that we've got, you go onto our website, you apply through our vacancies tab, and then you go through our applicant tracking system. So if you're successful, then you go out, then we get in contact with you. Hey, how you going? We start the onboarding process. If you're not, then basically our applicant tracking system will send you a message automated that says you're a really great candidate, but unfortunately no deal. So, yeah, that's what I'm just going to say. But yeah, we are providing information on how you can get in our consultation division. If you've been applying with other companies, getting knocked back, you don't know where you're going wrong, that's where you go to our consultation division, right? The recruitment division, you just go apply for jobs. Happy days.
Guys, I want to share a few things with you while we are just about to wrap up this live. There's a couple of things. One, we have a fantastic YouTube channel. That YouTube channel has interviews with people that are already working in these jobs that we are talking about. We have interviews with people that are utilities, that are drillers offsiders, that really kind of tell you what a day in the life is like, right? So they are going to tell you what it's like to be a drillers offsider. They're going to tell you what it's like. Go and check out our YouTube channel. Watch it when you're cooking dinner. Watch it, listen to it when you're going for a walk, or, you know, you've got so much information in there that is going to be able to provide you with loads of information about getting into the industry. The second thing is make sure you're following Alana, make sure you're following me, and make sure you're following Taylor. And we provide loads of information on how to be able to get into the industry. The other thing is we have a Facebook group, FIFO Mining Australia. We are posting jobs in here all the time. We are posting free advice, free hacks, free information. We also have a free miner's guide that's getting uploaded in there tomorrow, all for you to be able to get free information. All right. So we want to help you get in as quickly as possible and be able to provide as much value to you.
Yep, definitely. We've got our own migration agent. So if you want to speak to him, I'm actually going to drop our email address again into the comment there from Ala Bata. So yeah, I'm just going to drop our email address in there. We've got, and just keep in mind as well, my and Amanda's profiles in TikTok in our stand stores. You can go. We've got our vacancies tab in there, so you can actually go and apply for some of the jobs that we've got. Again, like I said, that goes through our applicant tracking system. So you're either going to be successful and we start the process with you, or you're not. In our in my stand store as well, we've got a ton of free stuff, free guides you can download. We've also got a relocation service. So what does that mean? That means that we can set you up with a room that might be vacant. A lot of the biggest problems are accommodation. If you're moving somewhere like Perth, accommodation is very hard to get. We've got a service where we can assist you with that. Or you just go stay within a backpackers. A lot of people do that. You're very welcome, AI with Side Hustle. So yeah, if you have any questions or you want to book in with our team in our consultation division, go up into the link in my bio or Amanda's, book in, happy days. Our consultants are the best worldwide. They have got FIFO experience and they can tell you exactly what you need to actually get in the easiest way without having to spend a ton of money on licenses or qualifications you don't need. Okay. We can't say that. Once a visa pathway is identified for me, in which time frame should I actually arrive in Australia? That completely depends on you. How quickly do you
and your funds available?
Yeah, you do
and
need
flights.
To have, yeah, you do need to have like a specific amount of money to show that you are able to financially support yourself if you do move to another country like Australia. So just keep that in mind. That's why we say talk with our migration agent, because he can say, listen, you don't have this. You need to, there's health checks. There's a ton of stuff. So, yeah, awesome. You're already in contact with us. Fantastic. In that case with you, I would suggest, sorry, I don't really have a name there. Yeah, have a chat with our migration agent. He can definitely assist you with that one. Righto, any other questions from here? We've already done the age one a million times. We're not doing that again. And I'll just say as well, when it does come to age in mining, right, if you're watching this right now, especially if you're in Australia, you've got a kid who's like, let's say, high school, they're working out what they should do. Check out some of the traineeships and don't go through an apprenticeship, right? That is like where, let's say, mechanical apprenticeship, which might be in town. I've got a friend, right, who is actually was on $12 an hour. He had to be on $12 an hour for a couple of years. It was actually less than that at the start to go through a light vehicle apprenticeship. If you do it in the mining industry and you can set yourself up, all your kids up, they're going to be earning a ton more money. And if you are looking for potentially a traineeship to do, go and do an HG fitter. I'll just say that right now. They're never going to be able to automate that. Or dump trucks they can. An HG fitter, they can't. I'll just say that. We work with jobs like mining, construction, civil. We have got people jobs on oil rigs. That's not really our speciality anymore. We mainly work with getting people easy to fill jobs in Australia, in like, you know, especially in WA or Queensland, because that's where we're based and that's where we know the market like that. Okay.
Oh, we've got a question here. I'm a facility manager looking after commercial buildings in the CBD. Could I qualify for a job in the mines? Yes, you would be perfect for a village manager. However, I mean, based on your experience, if you're a facility manager and you're overseeing the kitchen, you're overseeing accommodation, you're overseeing common areas, you're overseeing maintenance, all of that, then you could probably walk into a position as a village manager. You'd want to be able to demonstrate the number of occupants that you've got on, you manage your staff, your man days, how you're managing all of those type of rates and things like that. However, it can be clicky to be able to get a VM role. So you might need to start as a housekeeper, which is what I did. And then I went in to become a village manager. So that process took me around 15 months to be able to do that. But I also didn't have the background as a facility manager.
There you go. Also, I just want to say as well, in my bio, if you want to join our Facebook group where we have exclusive job opportunities and we invite employers in, and then we give you an opportunity to promote yourself once a month to those employers, go up into the link in my stand store, join our Facebook group, and we've got a ton of awesome stuff in there to help you get jobs easier. So yeah, we invite employers and say, hey, we do a post and they pick you guys off. So if you meet the criteria that they want, easy. All right. Just graduated my first degree in mining engineering. Do I stand a chance of getting a job? Absolutely. But Christopher, where are you located? What experience do you have? Is your resume optimized for the jobs that you want? Your Seek and LinkedIn profiles also, are they optimized? And mainly where are you located? So I would suggest have a chat with us. We work with a lot of uni students who have got these amazing degrees, and they just cannot get their foot in the door to their actual chosen career. That's where we come in. We put them through our one-job process and our what's it called, Amanda? Framework. And then bang, they start getting opportunities come to them as well. So also, if you want to join our one-job membership, it's literally once a week you get live training. You get access to 16 different courses, and we get employers to come in and, again, take our members, because we set you up for success. And you do the hard work, and then they go in and can offer you jobs. Thank you so much for that. Much appreciated. I'm from Ghana. How do I apply? Amanda, you can have this on.
I can't.
Yes,
Hi, Kwame. Look, you need to get a visa first. Go to the Australian immigration website, which is imi.gov.au. If you can get a visa, fantastic. Then book yourself a flight to Australia. Get yourself an Australian police clearance, an Australian driver's license, and an Australian white card, and get us to do your resume and start. Yeah, like that's how you can do it. But you need to get the visa first. I'm currently in Melbourne and have 6 years plus in hospitality. No luck getting in. Pemper. This is a great example of potentially you not having the right information. What resume are you using, and are you applying for jobs in Melbourne? Are you applying for jobs from Perth and Brisbane? If you drop your comments below, I'm going to give you some really great advice here right now on how to be able to change that really, really quickly.
And can I just say again, getting a job, especially a six-figure mining job in Australia, it has got nothing to do with luck. It's all down to strategy. And if you want the strategy where we got a 69-year-old, a $137,000 traineeship with Rio Tinto just last month, go check out my video on that one. It's gone completely viral, which is awesome. It's about your strategy. Set yourself up for success. Know the process, follow the process, and you're going to be successful. That's literally why we started our consultation division. In our recruitment division, we can't tell you why you're not successful. Our consultation division, that's where we literally say, listen, you're not meeting the criteria of the job. Did you actually read the job advertisement? No? All right, well, here's what you need to do. So, yeah.
Pemba Sherpa, there's your first mistake. All right. So Pemba has said that he is applying for jobs in Perth and he's living in Melbourne with lots of hospitality experience. So there is issue one. So this is really common with the clients and really common with people trying to get into the industry. First thing is that when you have a look at a FIFO job, when you have a look at any job on Seek, it will have a location. So it might say Perth, Pilbara, Port Hedland, Brisbane. It might say Gladstone. It might say Cairns. It might say Darwin. everyone bypasses this because they don't think it's important. This is actually one of the most important features and critical elements in information on Seek. So the applicant tracking system. So remember, guys, we're talking about the AI scanning that. If your address says Melbourne, then it's not going to elevate you as an ideal candidate, right? Because you're not meeting the minimum requirements. The minimum requirements mean, say, you have to be Perth-based. So, Pemba, this is not to say that you can't get a job. We have lots of clients in your situation. I would suggest booking in for a career consultation with our team and booking in, because there is a strategy and a framework that you can take to be able to change that result.
Definitely. And we don't like exactly what Amanda said. We do not have a lot of mining jobs which will FIFO you from Melbourne, not for entry level jobs. We've just done it with the superintendent, but this guy is a BHP superintendent. He has all the qualifications and experience. And yes, we did get him a FIFO job from Melbourne. But if you're trying to get an entry level job like Pemba, no deal. Ain't going to happen. You'd need to have a Perth address. So yeah, if you're a locomotive operator or your husband is, man, loco train drivers, so easy to get into the industry in Australia. So if he's got that experience in New Zealand, game on. Come have a chat with us. Righto, if you need help, it's just gone 11 o'clock, guys, or 1 o'clock in Queensland, New South Wales. To book in for a consultation with our team, you go up into mine or Amanda's stand store, or I'm about to drop the email address in here. In 20 minutes, we will provide you with a level of clarity, also discounts on qualifications and licenses if you need them, and also a set plan of exactly what you need to do so you can be successful like all of our other amazing clients that we work with. If you haven't done it, make sure you're following Amanda and I, because we're about to say bye-bye. Oh, crushing and screening in the Pilbara, awesome. Are you a, John, are you a fitter or like, what are you doing? Like process tech or what's the go? Oh, good. You had a chat with Donna? Yeah, Donna is one of our best. Donna, actually, we helped Donna to get her very first job in the mining industry, and then she ended up coming to us and we hired her.
Working for us.
Yeah, she works for us now. So amazing. Oh, wicked,
Right.
John. Awesome,
I'm going to
guys.
jump off.
Thank you for watching. Follow both channels. We will do another live probably next week, and I'm looking at getting my migration agent on as well for a special one for anyone who is overseas. So heaps of careers. Book in for a consult with us if you want, and game on. Thank you so much for watching. See you next week.
Cheers, guys.
Back to you guys in a second. Okay, thanks, Amanda.